Hello and welcome to the Sheriff's Roundup, a quarterly wrap-up of recent events involving the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office. I'm Sheriff Bill Brown, coming to you this time from the new Allen Hancock Public Safety Training Complex in Lompoc. One of the most important aspects of keeping the public safe is having trained first responders work together as a team in times of crisis. After years of planning and construction, Lompoc is now home to a premier 68-acre facility that has become a top-quality training ground for public safety officials from across the country. Here's a look at the highly anticipated grand opening and what this $38 million complex has to offer.
Hi, I'm Deb Annabali. I'm the Director of Law Enforcement Training at the Allen Hancock College Public Safety Complex at the Lompoc Valley campus. And I'm here today to tell you about all of the really exciting and awesome training venues that we have on this complex. We are multi-jurisdictional, multi-discipline, so we train law enforcement, fire, EMS, and environmental health services on this campus. And we are able to integrate all those training programs together. Probably one of the most prominent training venues that we have on this complex is a 6-story fire tower. And within the 6-story fire tower, they have the ability to generate smoke, start fires via propane, and also infuse sound into the training for the firefighters. It can also be used on the law enforcement side. If there is a hostage rescue that they have to do, it has an apartment and hotel facade. And in the basement of the training tower, we have a jail facility. So we can also conduct mock jail type training where they are in cells where they have to do cell extractions or those kinds of things. We also have driving simulators where we can train officers how to safely enter intersections and pursuit response in a safe environment where they don't have to worry about crashing, which is a great training opportunity. We have a 100-yard shooting range, which you can use handguns up to rifles, so we can do varied shooting out on the range. In this facility, we have the mat room where we teach academy recruits and some advanced officer training in proper arrest and control techniques. We have a scenario village that's set up that has structures within the village that simulate an urban area so that recruits or trainees can respond to those areas as if they were responding to a bank robbery or an alarm in progress. Recently, during our community open house, we had Santa Barbara Search and Rescue practicing their rappelling drills off the side of the tower, which was pretty fascinating for the public to be able to come out and see. We did a mobile hostage rescue. There was a short pursuit around the complex, and it culminated right in front of the VIP area where the Santa Barbara Special Enforcement Team members threw a distractionary device, a flashbang, and did the hostage rescue. Kind of brought the whole training component together because what we were able to do was put on a live hostage rescue using blank ammunition in an urban environment because there were actually city streets there, but it was in a controlled environment. Most of the people that were at that event were elected officials. They were also the CEOs of the law enforcement agencies and fire services and the EMS services in our area, and they were able to see how the training can happen in one venue in a variety of different ways and have several things going on at one time.
It really is a big victory for Santa Barbara County and Allen Hancock College and really the Central Coast as a whole. The limit of what we can do, I think, is beyond our imagination. So as we continue to grow into the facility, we'll just do better and better things.
Imagine the number of lives that will be saved in so many ways as a consequence of the training that will be provided here. Imagine how many people in peril will be rescued from criminals, from confined space, from fire, or from a watery grave as a direct result of what will be learned here. Imagine how many accidents will be prevented and how much pain and suffering will be alleviated.
We really think it's going to be a great training ground to train all of our regional partners and both emergency response so that they can go back and better service their communities.
Victims accounted for. One suspect down in M building, M4.
A unique and most important training opportunity for the Sheriff's Office took place in July at Dos Pueblos High School in Goleta. The Sheriff's Special Enforcement Team ran through several scenarios of an active shooter on campus.
What we're running is a multiple suspect or a multiple shooter scenario, and we're putting 2 contact teams into the area to search for the suspects and stop the threat.
Checking left, checking left.
Go left, go left, go left, go left, go left.
Officials with the Santa Barbara Unified School District observed in a way to learn more about how they can best support law enforcement during a crisis on campus. The Sheriff's Office hopes to do training like this at other school locations as well. Just 2 months after the mass murders in Isla Vista, where suspect Elliot Roger killed 6 people and wounded 14 others before killing himself, Santa Barbara County experienced yet another tragedy. On August 11th, 45-year-old Nicholas Holger called 911 to report that he had killed his parents, 73-year-old William Holger and 74-year-old Sheila Holger, and his 2 sons, 13-year-old Sebastian and 10-year-old Vincent. He also said he had killed the family dog. Nicholas Holger subsequently told detectives that he had killed his family to fulfill what he believed was his destiny. Holger was taken into custody without incident. The victims were all found deceased inside the residence after suffering multiple stab wounds. Holger was subsequently charged with 4 counts of murder and 1 count of animal cruelty. On August 19th, Santa Barbara County experienced yet another case of homicide. The body of 37-year-old Javier Alcantar Limon of Santa Maria was discovered by a group of field workers in the 6900 block of Main Street near the entrance to Guadalupe Beach. The victim had been shot multiple times. This case is currently under investigation, and anyone with information on what happened is encouraged to call the Sheriff's Anonymous Tip Line at 805-681-4171. In July, after an investigation that spanned several months, the Sheriff's Office announced the arrest of 8 people connected to the destruction and violence at this year's Deltopia event, an unsanctioned spring break party in Isla Vista. During the civil unrest there, 26 civilians, 6 sheriff's deputies, and 1 UCPD officer were injured and transported to the hospital. Initially, 17 people were arrested during the disturbance. But thanks to anonymous tips, photographs, and video obtained through various sources, detectives were able to identify, locate, and arrest 8 additional suspects. The arrests included this suspect, 23-year-old Augustine Guerrero, who was captured on video wearing a monogrammed Deltopia 14 hat and was seen throwing a large rock at a white van. Following his act of vandalism, a mob completely destroyed the vehicle. Guerrero was arrested by sheriff's detectives on Friday, July the 11th, at his workplace in Oxnard and charged with felony vandalism and inciting a riot.
Augustine Guerrero got quite a surprise on Friday at work when sheriff's detectives showed up to arrest him. He probably thought he got away with this crime, and he did not.
Also arrested on those same charges was 19-year-old Getty Miller, who was identified as the suspect seen jumping on top of the white van. He was arrested in South Lake Tahoe on April 19th. Sheriff's detective also arrested 19-year-old Aaron Koza of Arroyo Grande, who was documented pulling a stop sign out of the ground and waving it around. Detectives traveled as far away as the Bay Area and Los Angeles County to take the 8 suspects into custody. The Sheriff's Office, along with 11 other local law enforcement agencies, teamed up again to crack down on the number of impaired drivers on the road during one of the busiest commuter times of the year.
Our message is simple and consistent. Drive sober or get pulled over. We want drivers to know that we don't tolerate drunk driving. No excuses, no warnings.
The Avoid the 12 Task Force held a press conference on August 14th at Sheriff's Headquarters to warn drivers that enforcement efforts would be stepped up during the summer mobilization period that began on August 15th and went through Labor Day weekend.
If you consumed any alcohol, just take a cab. Just find another way to get home other than getting in your car behind the wheel and driving.
During the Avoid the 12 summer mobilization period, 148 people were arrested for DUI, and there were no fatalities. In 2013, during the same period, 185 people were arrested for DUI in Santa Barbara County, and there were 3 fatalities. In July, the Sheriff's Office, along with the Santa Barbara Police Department and the California Highway Patrol, cited 114 drivers over a 2-day pedestrian crosswalk sting conducted at various intersections in Goleta and Santa Barbara. The goal of the operation was to educate motorists on the rules surrounding pedestrians and crosswalks, and to encourage drivers to pay attention. Here's Goleta Traffic Supervisor Sergeant Bill Hennebree with this edition of Focus on Safety.
We're in the city of Goleta, and we're doing traffic enforcement involving pedestrians and crosswalks. We've had a couple of pedestrians killed in crosswalks here within the city. So we come out here and try to educate the public and also enforce the traffic laws. The vehicle code says that when you're crossing the street, you're supposed to stop in both directions as the pedestrian steps in the roadway. That's to give the pedestrian the safety to get from one side of the street to the other. We try to look at it instead of the letter of the law, the spirit of the law, that when the pedestrian's getting close, obviously you should be stopped in the direction the pedestrian's headed and not to start up until the pedestrian's passed you and gotten closer to the sidewalk. So we give them a little bit of a leeway on that and don't ride them because they don't stop immediately when they step in the crosswalk. The other part of the violation is overtaking or passing a motor vehicle that is stopped for a pedestrian. That's also a really unsafe act by a driver to overtake and pass a vehicle that is stopped because they can't really see what's in front of them. And when they commit themselves to passing the car, it's oftentimes too late and the pedestrian gets struck. So what you should always do whenever you come to an intersection, you should slow, because an intersection is the only safe place that a pedestrian can cross the street. So we should take extra cautious steps when you come to intersections to look out for pedestrians.
Thanks, Sergeant Hennebree. To find out when future pedestrian crosswalk stings will be held and to receive other information directly from the Sheriff's Office, sign up for Nixle alerts by going to our website at www.sbsheriff.org. A new program called Lights On is now underway at the Santa Barbara County Jail to assist inmates who are released in the late night or early morning hours. A group of trained volunteers with a Christian nonprofit group called Believer's Edge are volunteering their time to help inmates who are released from jail during times when transportation and services are hard to find. Whether it's a cup of coffee, conversation, or help finding a ride, the volunteers are there to make a difference.
We've seen very grateful people. They're grateful to get out of here, you know, but they're also grateful that they're meeting someone who can actually help in their immediate needs. There's nothing worse than walking out into a dark parking lot. You know, there's someone here to greet them, to give them a cup of coffee, conversation, something to eat, and hopefully a place to go if they don't have any place to go.
You know, to see a friendly face, a different face, a different scenario, and there's nothing outside there waiting for them, it's an encouragement. And to hear that people are interested and want to help, I think it's an encouragement for the folk.
The program is modeled after the Lights On program at the Orange County Jail. Right now, volunteers are at the lobby of the jail on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings, but organizers hope to expand their days of service in the near future. More than 70 formerly incarcerated inmates are now better equipped to be productive members of society after completing a comprehensive reentry program at our day reporting centers in Santa Maria and Santa Barbara. At a special ceremony held in Santa Maria, 46 clients received their completion certificates before a packed room of family and friends.
Today I got my life back. I'm grateful for CSI, what they have to offer. You know, I don't have it all figured out, but I grew up, I'm focused today. I know what I want in my life. And God gave me eyes to look forward, not behind me. And I will not let my past dictate my future.
One of the graduates was former state prisoner John Piccarillo, who credited the Day Reporting Center program for turning his life around.
You know, I've been a criminal all my life. I've never had a job, I've never worked, I've never cared about anybody other than myself. I'm still learning the thing about community and family And these types of things, they definitely saved my life. There's no question of that. They've also given me an opportunity to make something of my life and give back while I'm doing it. And I'm grateful.
Another graduation ceremony was held in Santa Barbara for 28 clients. In order to make it to graduation day, all of these clients participated in a year-long program designed to focus on their specific needs.
We're helping people rethink the decisions they make, the way they react to different experiences in their life, and the way they connect with other folks. Most of our clients have been with us for a year or more, so they worked very hard. The culmination is this graduation ceremony, and they look forward to it every year.
Congratulations to all of the graduates, and thanks for your decision to follow the right path. Another great group of graduates with bright futures are the cadets who recently completed the Central Coast Law Enforcement Explorer Academy. After 2 weeks of physical and mental challenges, these 23 young men and women, who represented 6 different local law enforcement agencies, received their certificates of completion at a ceremony held in Lompoc. 5 of the graduates were sponsored by the Sheriff's Office, including Leah Orzua of Santa Barbara, who stepped up and became Class Sergeant during the Academy.
They're pushing you to your physical and mental limits, and my passion for law enforcement grew through this program, and I realized that it was definitely a possible career down the road, and it teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you teamwork, integrity, you have to work together, a lot of memorization and being accountable for yourself.
Well done, graduates. We're proud of you. To find out when the next Explorer Academy is being offered, go to our website at www.sbsheriff.org.
Sir, officer safety, sir.
One of the best ways to understand how the Sheriff's Office helps keep the community safe is to witness it firsthand. The Sheriff's Citizens Academy allows residents to do just that during a hands-on series of classes and instruction. Here is the City of Goleta's Community Resource Deputy, Dave Valadez, to show us how this year's class did.
I know that you learn a lot from repetition and a lot from hands-on. So we tried to do things where they were actually participating in it.
I gained a lot of respect for the whole department.
Being here, you realize, oh my God, they're actually just professionals. You know, you get to see that these guys have a lot of experience and a lot of training.
Each session focused on a different aspect, and throughout the whole experience, we really got a good feeling for why they do the things they do. It's really incredible what they do for us. It's an incredible service.
It opens your eyes to a world that you're not normally familiar with.
You want to have that kind of interpersonal contact with somebody. It's not just a deputy that you see 1 week here or maybe last year or something like that. But you can come by the office, you can call, you can have coffee, you know, you can go out to lunch.
My favorite part of the class was when I got to shoot a gun for the first time. They taught me how to handle the weapon.
We had people who were experienced shooters and people who have never even touched a handgun. They still were like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to see what it feels like, and so everyone participated in it.
I was really enthralled by the canine unit.
Deputy Patrick Hayes came and did a canine presentation for us, and it was great because we had a search, we had a bite, we had pulled a suspect out of the car.
The control that he displays and that the dog is capable of displaying was far beyond what I thought a canine handler and canine unit would be capable of.
And then we play.
There is a growing danger with the anti-law enforcement sentiment, and the more we can educate the public on what we truly do, then we're all that much safer every time we're out on the street and making contact with people.
Dave Valadez, the guy puts his life, heart, and soul into the community.
And we also have a gift that we would like to present to you.
At the end of the Citizens Academy, we had this barbecue/potluck. So people, because they were from so many segments of society, they could bring in dishes that they wanted to bring in. And so we got to eat of each other's food. The whole experience was rewarding, and it was just a nice way to put an end to this year's Citizens Academy.
Thank you, Deputy Valadez, and congratulations to all of our Citizen Academy graduates.
Hey,
The Sheriff's Office is always looking for the right people to join our team. We want to welcome a group of new hires to the Sheriff's Office family, including Sheriff's Deputy Brad Stonecipher, Reserve Deputy Donna Wilson, and Sheriff's Deputy Vincent Black. We welcomed back Sheriff's Reserve Deputy Jerry Cornell, Sheriff's Deputy Francisco Perez, and we said hello to our new dispatcher, Amber LaRoe Winter, Financial Office Professional Julie Wisely, and our new helicopter pilot, John Brenner. The Sheriff's Office also brought 20 new custody deputies on board at 3 separate hiring ceremonies. One of these ceremonies included the well-received promotion of Sergeant Mark Hamill. Congratulations, you're now Sheriff's Sergeant. We also recently hired 6 Sheriff's Deputy trainees who are going through the Law Enforcement Academy at the Allen Hancock Public Safety Training Facility and will graduate in December. Our recently hired custody deputies will attend the Allen Hancock Custody Deputy Academy and will also graduate in December. We'll introduce all of our graduates to you during the next edition of the Sheriff's Roundup. The Sheriff's Search and Rescue Team now has 3 new 4-legged volunteers, and they're all raring to go. Here are search and rescue volunteers and handlers Juanita Smith and Rick Stein to introduce us to the team's new canines in training.
This is Caper. He's a 13-month-old Border Collie. He is a cousin of Blaze's, who retired, my recently retired working dog. And he is going to do human remains detection. This right here is Shiloh, and she is a 12-week-old bloodhound. She is in training, but we haven't really started any formal training due to her age. She's going to be trailing, which is typical bloodhound work.
This is my new puppy, MacGyver. He'll be 10 months old tomorrow. He's an Australian Shepherd. He's my second Australian Shepherd that I'm training for search and rescue. I think that it's important for the Santa Barbara Search and Rescue team to have dogs on the team. They're another tool for the team to utilize. Of all the things I've done, I enjoy working with the dog most. We're a team, and to work as a team, it's very rewarding, and it's just wonderful to work with a dog.
I just love the enjoyment and the dedication of the dogs. I love the fact that they are just unconditional. They don't ask for anything in return. They just want to go out there, play, have fun, and work. They can smell things that we can't, and that's what we're relying on. Our goal is to make sure that the county has the dogs that it needs when somebody goes missing, or if we're needed out of county to help wherever we can.
Good luck with your training, Caper, Shiloh, and MacGyver. We know that you're going to be great additions to our already impressive search and rescue team. And finally, another group of our animal friends that are a great asset to the Sheriff's Office are the 8 horses that make up our Sheriff's Mounted Unit. As is traditional, the Mounted Unit participated in the historic Fiesta Horse Parade, El Desfilico Histórico, during old Spanish days. They entered as a color guard detail and carried the U.S. and California state flags up State Street. We appreciate everyone who came out to enjoy the parade and showed their support of the Sheriff's Office during this wonderful event. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Sheriff's Roundup. Until next time, stay safe, and thank you for supporting us as we protect your safety.